You know, when we talk about leadership these days, it's all about frameworks, analytics, the latest tech. But what if the most powerful tool for today's challenges is, well, an ancient idea? Today, we're going to pull on a thread of wisdom that reframes leadership from the inside out. It's not about what leaders do, it's about who they are.
So that's the big question, right? Can ancient wisdom actually give us something practical for leading in today's world with all its complexity and constant change? I think the answer is going to surprise you.
Because this isn't about religion or rituals or going on some kind of mystical retreat. No, it's about a really practical, psychological way to understand the one thing you actually have control over: yourself.
Okay, so how do we tap into this? It all starts with understanding this key concept called a sutra. So let's break down what that word really means and, more importantly, how it can apply to leading your team or your company right here, right now.
And this is maybe the most important point to get straight right from the get-go. While these ideas do come from Hindu and Buddhist traditions, our focus here has absolutely nothing to do with faith. We're looking at them as these incredibly profound psychological systems.
So, a sutra, what is it? Think of it like a powerful, condensed idea, a thread of insight. It's not some rule you have to follow blindly. It's a principle you're meant to explore. And when you really engage with it, when you reflect on it, it just starts to guide your decisions and your actions in a much more conscious way.
And what's so fascinating is where this stuff comes from. I mean, these traditions spent literally thousands of years just observing the human mind. And what came out of that is this incredibly clear language for describing the patterns we all go through. You know, ambition, distraction, attachment, finding our purpose. That's the clarity we're trying to tap into.
So this all leads us to the core argument of this whole approach. It's a pretty fundamental shift in where we put our focus as leaders. Let's dig into that.
We live in an age that is just obsessed with tools, right? The latest management framework, the newest productivity app, the most advanced AI. But this perspective asks a really important question. Before you grab for any of that, what's the one thing you have to do first?
The crucial first step is to understand the user. And when it comes to leadership, the first and most important user of any tool, of any framework, is you. Before you can even think about managing a team or a strategy, you have to understand your own mind, your own tendencies, your own biases. Because without that self-awareness, the best tools in the world are kind of useless, or maybe even dangerous.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. Over here on the left, you've got the tool-focused leader, always looking for that next external fix. But on the right, you have the conscious leader, and they start their work internally. They know their own inner state, their clarity, their intention, their self-control. That's what's going to determine the outcome of any tool they pick up. It's a huge shift from asking, "What do I do?" to asking, "Who is doing it?"
Okay, so this all sounds good in theory, right? But where do you actually start? Well, this approach gives us a really concrete framework, and it's built on 4 key threads. Let's look at how they create a kind of roadmap for this self-inquiry.
You begin with these 4 questions. First, duty. What is actually your responsibility and what isn't? Next, intention. What's the real why behind your goals? Is it coming from your ego or is it about service? Then attachment. Are you clinging to a certain outcome so tightly that it's actually clouding your judgment? And finally, the big one, the nature of the self. Who are you really underneath the job title and the LinkedIn profile? This inquiry, this is the real work of conscious leadership.
And when you start doing this work, something really fundamental begins to shift, especially how you understand power itself. It stops being about your position or controlling other people, and it becomes something totally different.
This right here, this is the whole point. To start seeing your leadership, your influence, not as a box on an org chart, but as a form of energy. Your attention, your decisions, your communication, it's all energy that you are directing out into the world. The goal is simply to direct it consciously instead of just automatically or reactively.
So, we'll end with a question for you to take with you. As you go through your day, through your meetings, your decisions, just take a moment here and there to ask yourself, where's my energy really going? Is it actually aligned with my duty and with my deepest intentions? The answer to that question? Well, that's the very beginning of the thread.